Welcome. Today's yoga practice is called Yoga for When You Don't Want to Do Anything. And I'm Jessie, your teacher. Today, I don't want to really do anything. Feeling unmotivated, uninspired, just blah. Physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, just everything is a little bit out of whack today. But I wanted to film a new YouTube video, and from speaking to other friends, and I'm a coach, so some of my coaching clients as well have been feeling this really blah feeling this week. So if you, like me, don't really feel like doing anything, but you made it this far, and you clicked on this YouTube video, then I would encourage you to just come down to some kind of soft surface, and we'll get started. So we're going to come into a cross-legged seat, or just any kind of a seat that feels comfortable for you. So grounding into your sit bones, sitting up tall from that foundation, bringing your chest high, shoulders back and down, head lifts, so the crown lifts towards the ceiling. Inhaling and exhaling nice and gently. Filling the belly, just feeling that slight expansion through the whole torso, and then pulling it in as you exhale, but not too hard. You don't need to try to really push the air out. We might do that at the end of the practice. For now, just enjoying a just slightly deeper breath. It feels good. Trying to gently get the belly to rise. Taking a few breaths like that with no movement at all through the rest of the body, just sitting in alignment. Then we'll drop the hands down by the sides and inhale, lift the hands up. Reaching the hands together, and then exhaling, letting the hands come down through heart center, back down to the floor. Inhale, the hands lift up. And exhale, the hands come together and down. Keep going. Do about 5 breaths this way. It's just starting to get a little bit of blood pumping through the arms and the shoulders, some of the muscles of the back and the chest as well. Waking up that upper body. So this is, I think, number 5 for our breaths. If you've been taking your inhales and exhales at a similar pace to me, you can just release your hands back down onto your legs. If you had your eyes closed, like I just automatically did, you can open them again. And then we'll come into some side bends. So this is a really nice, really basic way to stretch. But first we're going to exchange the cross of our legs. So we've already been sitting here for about a minute, so we want to switch up which leg is in the front. So typically whatever dominant leg is for you, then that one will go into the front. So now you're just wanting to switch it. So it might feel a little bit funny, but that's okay. So we'll go over to the left first. So left hand is going to come down to the floor. Your right hand is going to lift up and over, creating a nice big arc shape. You can look up towards the ceiling, and that will help to open your chest up towards the ceiling as well. Reaching the hand up and over. It's a good chance to check and see if you need a shower. Fun fact, I do need a shower. So see for yourself. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall through the center. You can look up here, open your throat. And then returning the head to neutral as you bring now the right hand down to the side. Left hand sweeps up and over, looking towards the ceiling. And that stretches out the side muscle in your neck a little bit, as you're also stretching out the whole of the rest of the side body here. Big deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Releasing that, coming up into center again, bringing your arms up again too. bringing them together in the center, and then exhaling, bringing them down and through. So you can bring the hands down, just rest them any old place. If you are tired of sitting in cross-legged position, if your hips or knees are starting to get a bit sore, you can either, if you have a yoga block or a pillow or something you can sit up on, you can just pop that under your hips. Even a folded up blanket works great for that. Or you can take your legs out long here. You can even bring them into a little Cobra Post. We're just gonna do a really quick couple of twists to either side. So sure, I'll go with the cobbler pose variation. Why not? My hips definitely need some opening. So inhaling, reaching the arms up, and no matter how you're sitting, you're going to exhale, crossing the right arm over towards the left knee as the left hand comes down behind you, pressing the fingertips into the floor like a kickstand on a bike. So I'm sort of hunched over a little bit. As soon as I can touch down, I have dog hair up my nose. Sitting up tall with the support of that arm. That's the joys of having pets. Sometimes you have dog hair in your nose on camera. Inhaling to sit up tall, using that breath, and exhaling to turn deeper into your twist. Really getting a nice turn right from the belly all the way through to the shoulders. Head and neck as well can get into the flow. And then releasing towards the center again. Inhale in the middle. You can bring those arms up again as well. So we prepare for the other side. So as you exhale, now your left hand comes across to the right knee, right hand goes behind as you're a kickstand. Inhale to sit up nice and tall. A preparation breath, and then exhaling through this twisted posture. Turning so you can sort of glance over your shoulder, turning through all parts of the upper body, including the head and neck, keeping the hips grounded. And then let's release that side as well, just coming back to a neutral middle seat. So for this next little bit, we're going to stretch out our wrists. So this is not going to be a very active, sweaty, flowy practice. This is yoga for when you don't want to do anything. So we're just doing the simplest, most basic stuff. I didn't even get out of my sweatpants. So for this stretch, you can turn your fingers out to the sides. Palms are down on the ground. Wrists are about shoulder width apart. So you should have your shoulders, elbows, and wrists all in one nice line. So you're sort of in a kneeling position, not sitting all the way back like in child's pose, because you need your shoulders to be above your wrists. So we're going to start a little rocking motion from side to side here. So a little note about having sore wrists, it's usually due to forearm tightness. So we don't usually stretch out our forearms. Even if you practice yoga a lot, chances are you stretch your biceps and triceps and lots of your back muscles and your chest, abs, and all that. You can stretch really quite a lot in many yoga poses, but your forearms don't really get too much attention. So this is a forearm therapy session here. So you can turn your fingers to face the inside now and do the exact same motion with the same alignment. So still trying to line up elbows, shoulders, wrists, and then getting your rocking motion going once you found relative comfort in the pose. So it's not always the most pleasant, and I don't know if you can see my facial expression there, but it's kind of a fine line between pain and just a good stretch sometimes. So of course, if you have anything really sudden, stabbing, numbness, anything like that, then you want to stop or decrease at least your range of motion. All right, so the last of these wrist stretches is now to attempt to turn the fingers all the way back around towards the knees. So if you can do that, fantastic, but a lot of people are going to find that very challenging. I used to when I first started doing these kinds of things. So if you can get even your fingers turned around that much towards your knees or that much, then that's fine. You can still practice this one. So with the hands turned around as much as possible, you'll start to, rather than rocking side to side here, you'll just rock back. And that's if you even need to do it at all, because this one is the reason we do it last, because I'm not just making this face to be funny. It probably looks funny, and I hope to make you laugh, especially if you feel like crap today. But this really is a big opening for those forearms. Okay, let's release. So last thing I like to do with my forearms is to make some circles with the wrists, but there's a little extra trick I like to do. 2 tricks actually. First one is to take one hand and wrap it around the other wrist. So if I just roll my wrists around with no support, then they crack every single time. So if I hold on and I keep that joint in integrity, it's not going to have such a hard time keeping itself together, because all that cracking and popping when it's wrists and ankles can signify issues. I know I have issues for sure with these wrists, which is why I'm a little bit of an expert when it comes to rehabbing your wrists and getting back into your planks and downward facing dogs without pain, because that really sucks. So here we go. It's a practice to help you for when you do get back into your yoga practice as you usually do it, with your sun salutations and all those other beautiful things. So you do a few rolls in both directions with each wrist. You want to make sure you're switching. And then the last trick is to take both hands, palms together, interlace the fingers, and you're going to start to make infinity loops. So it looks like a sideways 8. So you're drawing that with your knuckles. And this is a really good, like, little final release. And then switch directions. Oof. A few pops still to work out in there. But just a little shake. Gentle shake up and down, side to side, and they feel like new wrists. So let's get on those wrists just a little tiny bit, okay? Let's come down onto the forearms, and then come into a little plank here. Good, so inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Really keeping the hips in line with the rest of the spine as best you can. Trying not to really lift the hips or let them droop too much. And then as you bring the knees down, step them out wide. So try not to just let yourself totally drop. Try to control the way that you come out of your plank. Sitting back for child's pose. So didn't guess where that was going. To child's pose, hips sink back towards the heels, toes, big toes should be just about touching or touching. Arms reach out, spine lengthens forward and back as you're sitting back, but also reaching ahead. The head can just rest down. Taking a few breaths here. Let's walk the hands over towards the right hand side. And the left hand comes over as well, sinking the chest down. So this is another side bend variation in child's pose. Really nice one. Again, for when you just do not feel like doing anything. We are getting towards the end of this practice as well, because I know even a few minutes of following along with a video can be hard when you don't feel like doing anything. Let's go over to the other side with this, walking over to the left. Right hand follows, and then you sink down, breathing deep, letting the chest lower down as much as possible as your breath expands through the right side of your body. then let's come back just onto the forearms here. So you're going to step your feet out. So you come into Sphinx pose. Just sort of slide your feet and your knees back so you can lower your hips down, coming into Sphinx. So you're supporting your shoulders and your chest, your neck and head, all with your upper arms here. So you want to keep nice and strong through those biceps and triceps, keeping everything lifted. So when you're lifted, it's going to look something like this. If you're not lifted, you're going to look very uncomfortable and very small and short in this pose. So that does not feel nice at all. This feels much, much, much better. So from here, we're just going to take a couple of breaths. And then you can pull your hands back one at a time and just come down onto the front of the body, just to roll over onto the back. So we're going to be lying down on the back of the body here. So you can send your legs out long. Hopefully you've got some space. Bringing your right knee in. It's actually my left knee, but it does not matter which one you start with here. Taking a nice deep breath, just hugging the knee in towards the chest. Then we're going to release. So if you're holding your left knee, your left arm will go out to the side, or vice versa. And then you're going to use your right arm to guide the knee across towards the opposite side. So as you roll, make sure that the shoulder isn't lifting off of the floor. So super important to maintain that grounded point, because that's one of the anchor points for your twist. So your twist starts here and ends down by your opposite side hip. So both those points need to stay on the floor in order to get this spiral with the spine. Rolling back onto the back, holding that knee in towards the chest for one more second, and then let's stretch it out towards the ceiling. So that is very tight today. So if your leg is still very bent, that's no problem, no shame. If you're able to extend it straight or semi-straight, that's great too. And flexing the foot as much as you can as well. That's going to help to elongate those muscles as well. And let's release. So you're just going to extend that leg out long, and you'll bring the other one in towards. So right foot, or right knee rather, comes in towards the chest. Just holding it in for the first breath here. Just getting used to that angle with the hip. We haven't done too much with the hips today, really. So giving it some time to open, and then your right arm this time, it's going to go out long away from the shoulder, and you're going to be rolling over towards the left hand side. The left hand guides the right knee across. So with this one, you're going to really feel it through your upper back, lower back, through the hips. You know, even the outer side of the thigh can really get a good stretch here. So just notice where you're feeling it the most in your body. And the head can either stay in this neutral position here, or you can turn away from the knee. And just making sure that this shoulder stays grounded down the entire time. And then releasing back onto the back. So once again, just holding the knee in for one moment, and then we'll see about extending it out straight. Did a little lower body workout that I filmed for my Instagram yesterday, and really, really feeling that one today. And you know, not to be bragging or anything. Normally I can't straighten my leg here, but that's about as good as she's gonna get today. So you meet yourself where you're at day after day, and sometimes things are tight, and that's fine. It's a sign that you've been working hard. Letting that leg go, and you're just going to extend both legs out long. So Going to turn over to the side. We just want to do one last thing, coming up to seated for this. So back into a cross-legged seat if that was okay for you before. If you have a prop from before that you want to put under your hips, go ahead. Or you can sit in any of those other varieties that I gave you before. We're just going to give 1 moment to stretch our neck. So literally 1 minute to 2 minutes here to just dedicate to this delicate structure that does so much for us. So first stretch is to bring your chin down towards your chest. So nose towards the floor, and you're keeping your shoulders lifted. Not letting them round forward and keeping them in alignment with the rest of the spine. Just the head and neck are bending forward. If you want, you can take the hands, interlace the back of the head and give a little extra. For the last couple breaths here. And then release, letting the head rise back to a neutral position and then all the way on up. Couple breaths here. Letting the head tilt back as far as is comfortable. Again, not letting those shoulders roll forward. And release, bringing the head back up to neutral again. So now we're going over to the side. So we'll go to the right ear to right shoulder. Big stretch all the way down the side of the neck here. So if you'd like to, you can take the hand on that side, bring it to just above the ear on the head, and just get a little extra there too. And then of course we gotta go towards the other side, so releasing that and just carefully bringing the head up and over to the other side. Just adding that pressure if you wanted it, if you needed it. And just settling into your breath here. These last couple moments, we're just about done. There's only one more movement after this, one more stretch. And then we're gonna say adios and go back to not doing a darn thing. Lifting the head up here. So we'll take the head down into the first position again, chin to chest. Then you'll start to gently move the head to the side, so you're coming back into the stretch that we just did, ear to shoulder. Then circling back down and through, coming all the way around to the other side. So these are just half neck circles. We're not going to be tilting our head back and going all the way around in a circle. We're just going to go around to the front and around to the back in a nice crescent moon shape. Have your eyes closed or open through this, whatever you want. And we'll just do about 3 to 4 rolls to either side. And like I said, this is our last little movement, our last little stretch as well. So if after this you just want to keep on going and doing more of this kind of thing, then you absolutely can. So sometimes throughout the day, if I'm working on my computer a lot, I will just briefly, periodically stop for 1 minute or 2 minutes and just do that little series of stretches. So head down, head up, ear to shoulder, and then rolls from side to side. Super simple little routine that makes such a big difference in a super short amount of time. So I tried to keep this whole video pretty short so that it wouldn't feel too taxing when you're already feeling really tired and really unmotivated. But with any luck at all, you're feeling a little bit better after watching this video and practicing along with me. I do. I feel a little bit better. Yeah, like about this much better, I think, than I did before. So I hope that that made a little bit of a difference for you. Thanks again for watching. Follow along with me on Instagram for workouts, vegan food, just general fun times. And we'll see you next time. Bye.